In this video presentation, I want to go through some best practices on how to implement CRM, specifically 3 steps for success. So step 1 is to get executive involvement. The higher the better, and the more involved the better. Step 2 is to fit or configure the software to fit your business. And step 3 is to focus on user adoption. I'm going to take each of these steps and break them down into 5 bullet points. So at the end, we'll have 15 different things to think about when implementing a CRM system. So moving on to executive involvement. One of the things to consider about doing CRM well is that CRM involves change. It involves change that crosses department boundaries. You're going to have people from IT, people from marketing, from sales, from operations. Depending on your integration, you might have people involved from finance, from accounting, from order fulfillment. And if you don't have somebody that has authority over this group of people, you're going to have lots of problems with your implementation. Now, no offense to anybody in IT, but good CRM is not just an IT project. I've seen lots of cases where executives hear about CRM, they hear about all the benefits, they turn to their technology leaders and they say, go get me CRM. Going back to the first 2 bullet points, that violates the idea that CRM involves change and that it's cross-department boundaries. You have to have authority over, say, your senior VP of marketing, your senior VP of sales, in order to make change that crosses those boundaries. You need to have a vision. You need to have a vision that's the direction that the company needs to go to better work with and talk to and deal with their customers. And that requires somebody at an executive level. And the other thing to note is that sometimes we can get executives involved, have that vision at the beginning, but then they get busy and they move on to other projects. To get the most out of CRM, the executives definitely need to stay involved. The next item on the list after executive involvement was business fit. Every company has a different culture. Same thing, every company has different needs. You can take 2 companies that are doing relatively the same thing, say manufacturing a product, and the difference between their culture, the people, and where they are with their systems is going to require that the CRM system is implemented differently. So keep that in mind. And with the state of current systems today, they're very adaptable and configurable. Doesn't require programming, doesn't require you kind of get off the beaten path with this real custom stuff. It just requires that you think through the business process, understand the needs and the culture, and then just adapt or configure the product to better serve you. While you're doing that, you're going to be streamlining business processes to benefit the end users and the customers. And if you stay focused on value, providing value because you're fitting this product to how your company needs it to fit, then you're going to have another successful key towards a good implementation. The last piece around a successful CRM implementation is user adoption. Users are really the heart of the system. They're going to be using it on a day-to-day basis. Hopefully that's the case. They're going to be tracking data and interacting with customers. They really need to have a system that's going to work well for them. A lot of times I've heard that an executive will get up and stomp his feet and say they will use the system. I can't say how wrong that approach is because there is an element of it that's okay, but after a while, the executive's going to get tired of demanding that people use the system, and eventually the users will win because they'll just push back enough to say, hey, it's not working for us. Get input as you're developing the CRM implementation, as you're doing the business fit stuff. Involve a representative group or team of users to provide input. That way they can have some ownership. provide measurements. Part of your business fit should be provide measurements and KPIs that show who's doing what in CRM. Provide input and value back to the users by showing them how their interacting with the system is affecting the outcomes. And then better yet is also find maybe incentives, find wins for the users, find ways that make their jobs easier. If you can find ways to make their jobs easier, they'll flock to the system. So what does CRM success look like? We have an infographic here that we've built that shows these three pieces in blue, the executive involvement, the business fit, and the user adoption. Around the outside, you'll see kind of a revolving process wheel that starts with take small steps. Don't try to do everything at once. You know how they say, you know, how do you eat an elephant? You know, you don't do it all at once. You do it a little bit at a time. You then, along the bottom, you focus on value and benefits. So each time you take a step back, measure it. Was it successful? If it was, then you move on, and then you come with the spirit of constant improvement, and you come back and you take another small step. And you just keep doing this, and pretty soon you'll have changed your culture, changed your whole environment, and you'll have a successful CRM implementation. So in summary, the three steps were executive involvement, business fit, user adoption. Hopefully this has been helpful. Thank you for your time. This has been a presentation by Customer Dynamics.